Cage Minds, Micah Frankel at the Perez Boxing Gym with the hammer, Abraham Perez. Sir, thank you for the time.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate you.
Man, it's fight week. Here you are heading out to End of the Mountain Gods this Saturday for, would you call this your biggest test so far in your career?
I would say so far. I mean, I've had a couple, tests along the way, just maybe like 2, 3. But yeah, for sure, as we get more fights, we're gonna step it up every time.
David Vargas is going to be the opponent. Another opponent coming up from Mexico. We've seen him, his last fight, 12 rounds, fighting for a Mexican flyweight championship. Did you look back at that fight? Did you get anything from that one?
Not really. I did not. I'm just going based off what my coach is saying. My pops, what he's saying. And it's another southpaw. He's 5'9". Just look out for that. Stay in the inside. Keep your foot on the outside. Things like that.
5'9"?
5'9". Yep.
Dude, that's ridiculous. The reach and the height for 112 pounds is the contracted weight?
Yeah. Yep. And they're either tall, skinny, or short and stocky.
All right, David, I'm going to talk to your kidneys real quick. They want you to go up in weight. What do you think of the challenge there of that reach and that size?
I believe it shouldn't be much of a problem, although it's always a little bit of a problem, but it's not so much a big deal. It's just something that you got to learn to adapt to as soon as you're in there with him.
Are you getting more excited as the camps go on, as the fights move on, and as you said, as these challenges become bigger?
Definitely getting more excited with it. These camps of, getting ready to train to fight these other people. It's every camp is different. You learn a lot of different things. I'm starting to go out a lot more sparring, get good work outside of New Mexico. So it's fun. It's a lot better.
I know that you love the state, you represent hard, you've represented the country, but I do think it's getting to that point in your career where, especially for your weight class, it's like you and Matt Griego just out here. So I'd say both of you guys, it's time to look for some sparring and get some different looks on the guys you've been sparring for quite a while.
Right. Yeah, it's like you said, I mean, we got to get that different sparring somewhere else, If you stay here, you stay sparring someone, you get used to that. You don't get as tired as you do when you spar someone that's in another state,
Right, and isn't that more of also, when you spar somebody from another state, you're sparring guys at different camps, it's almost like a fight because it's something brand new coming at you, so I feel like that intensity and that focus is a little greater.
Yeah, for me anyway, when you go over there, you gotta perform like if you are fighting, you gotta, so that way it mimics exactly, because when you're sparring, that's as close as it's gonna get when you are to fighting.
Now we're going to see it Saturday night, but not everybody's going to get to. Where do you feel like your game is evolving and improving the most over these last couple months?
I could say the improvement is just coming with more of these fights. As the more I get these fights in, the better I'm going to be getting.
And I kind of ask you this every time, but is this pro journey setting into you? I know you had so many fights as an amateur. You went out of the country. You fought on some big stages, but is it setting in now that it's professional and it's a different game?
Almost. I can say it's almost setting in there. Of course, yeah, I did hit the big stages over there in the amateurs. I haven't hit quite a big stage yet in the pros, but down the road, God willing, it will be.
I know that you've told me before you don't study too many of the professional fighters out there, but I was wondering if looking at guys like Jaron Ennis, looking at Devin Haney, and watching their journeys where they weren't the pick guy. They didn't have the promoter putting them on the big stage right away, and they literally had to fight themselves to being a mandatory title challenger. Does that give you some light at the tunnel for the journey that you're on, almost taking that same path?
Yeah, most definitely. It's something that is exciting. It does give me, hope that, I could easily, not easily, but I can go ahead. I can take a fight. I can be on the B side. I can perform, and of course I could win it. I could just keep following the footsteps of these other boxers.
And describe to us this love, the passion that you have still for the sport.
it's just exciting just to get in there, feel the vibe of everyone cheering you on, and seeing your opponent. That's he wants the victory, you want the victory. It's a 1-versus-1 chess match. It's an awesome feeling overall.
Now, we know we've seen you adding into the offense and been dazzled by your defense. And with those in mind, what are your expectations going into a fight like the one coming up? You don't have to tell us exactly, but are you thinking more about, I want to come out clean, I want to, show off my power, I'd like to get a stoppage, I want to get my rounds in and beat this guy up, work on my techniques? Like, where's your head at in those terms?
If I could get out clean, I would. I mean, so far it's been, I've been good. With that as far as my defense goes. But, being that this is going to be a tougher fight, I'm not expecting to come out clean. I'm expecting to at least, get out there a little mangled.
We see guys, and keeping on the defense real quick, we see guys hitting the bag all the time. So we look at everybody working their offense, but how outside of sparring are you able to also still improve your defense?
I do train with my brother sometimes here and there when we are shadow boxing. We both, how can I say it? We both, we think a lot. We show each other different moves, different things that we could do, different ways of blocking, parrying, how can I say it? Grappling. So, I mean, as long as I have, someone in here. If not, the imagination. I'm sorry. the imagination. It does a lot too. I mean, if you sink into your head that your opponent's right there and you're shadow boxing, you close your eyes and you just envision it. The brain is very powerful. You can train it to do a lot.
And on that, what's going to make you satisfied Saturday night? What kind of performance are you looking for?
It would be nice to get a knockout. And that's what I'm aiming for.
We spent a lot of time with Abraham talking about boxing. Gonna hit you with some questions real quick outside of boxing. All right. So, favorite color?
Green.
Movie guy, book guy?
Books.
All right. So, favorite book?
Right now, it would be The House of the Scorpion.
All right. So, why is it The House of the Scorpion? Get into it a little bit for us.
Well, that one, it talks about. I guess you're in the future in Mexico, and it talks about it's a story about a kid who's a clone for like an evil drug lord or whatever, and he raises clones inside of baby cows, or not baby cows, but the big cows, and anyway, it's a very good book. I really can't explain much of it, but. The kid gets a normal life as a clone because as a regular clone, he would be paralyzed, and they'd just be feeding him through a tube and all that stuff. And whenever the how do you say it, the drug lord or whatever, he starts getting a little too old, organs start failing, he can get him from the clone. And this clone in particular, he gets he gets a chance to live a normal life, and. Yeah, it's just a good book overall.
And we really did hit something that Abraham liked there. That is the longest answer he's ever given me to any question ever. I was so happy to hear that, man. Okay. Also, you guys are a big car family in that business. Do you have a favorite car?
I like a Dodge Viper.
So is that the plan? That's the dream car once we get the world title and everything?
That would be nice, yeah.
What are some of your other favorite hobbies outside of this ring?
I play guitar. I do play guitar. It's more of like a finger picking pattern that I like to do. Guitar. If I can play basketball, I'll go ahead and shoot some hoops outside or something. What else? I like to run, which a lot of people.
Is that really a like?
Yeah. Like when you get so bored, you just go out for a run. I mean, it sucks when you want to go, or it sucks to go for a run and you're not in shape. But since you're in shape, go for a run. It's no big deal.
You bring up the guitar. What's your favorite kind of music?
I think I would like to say a little bit of country, classic rock.
You got a favorite song?
Not really. I do have probably 12 songs that I learned on the guitar, but right now, shoot, they're gone.
Is there one band, one artist that you really love?
The Eagles are nice. I like them.
And favorite vacation, or favorite vacation spot, because I know you've been around the world.
I would probably go back to Spain, on the beach of Spain.
Figured we end it with some random questions, get you guys a little deeper into Noah and Abraham. Thank you for the time.
Thank you for having me.